and welcome back to another video. So today I want to talk about the 5.4 PROCREATE update and how I've been feeling about it. But I just want to say a few things right before I get started. So number one, I am using a new editing software because my other one, ever since the iOS 26 update, it's been giving me problems. So bear with me here as I try to figure it out with these next few videos in these next coming weeks, months, etc. Number two is that, as you all know, I've been using PROCREATE pretty much ever since I got my iPad. Before I used PROCREATE, I was using IBS Paint, or IBIS Paint, however you say it. It's a free app. PROCREATE is a one-time payment of $10, I believe. At least that's how much it was when I bought it. I'm not sure if they've increased or decreased the price since then. But I have been using PROCREATE for my iPad mini ever since 2021, 22. I'm not entirely sure, but it's been a good few years. And I've made tons of art, and I've loved it. I think it's a great software. I think it's very user-friendly, and I also think that it's simple enough to, understand quickly, but also complicated enough to make, complex art pieces. And if you're ever looking for an art software and you do have an Apple product, I highly, highly, highly recommend PROCREATE. I think it's a wonderful software, and I think it really encompasses everything an artist would need, whether you're a professional, a complete beginner, anything in between. I think it's a really good software. But it had an update recently, and I've been actually wondering for these past few weeks, when would PROCREATE get an update? Because it's been sort of the same app for a long time now, and that's good. The consistency is very, very appreciated, especially with someone who, I'd say I'm tech savvy, but I don't love quick tech changes because then you have to relearn stuff. It's just a lot to think about. So when PROCREATE had their 5.4 update, I was like, oh, okay, what's new? What is being entailed? So that ended up happening, and the main thing that really changed was the brushes. Most of the layer modes are the same, the colors are still the same, relatively all the functions are as well. The only thing that really changed is we got a brush expansion. So in this video, I kind of wanted to present this new brush set that we've been experiencing in the PROCREATE update, and I also wanted to just try out new brushes. When I do digital art, I tend to think of my art as very clean. I like to use a lot of crisp line art brushes. I keep my coloring not super textured. I don't have a lot of pencil or marker or watercolor texture. I definitely tend to stick to more either flat colors or flat colors with gradients, but those are airbrushed. Very digital art. When I do my digital art, I like how clean it looks. I like how just crisp it is. And I think one of the advantages of digital art is that's not really something you can do with other mediums. Other mediums like traditional, whether it be painting, markers, etc. There's so much texture, and I think that natural texture is lovely, but the contrast that digital art can give artists is so expansive. And personally, I tend to use the same 10 brushes, and even that's kind of a big number. I really just end up using a pressure sensitivity technical pen. I use airbrushes. I use maybe some painting brushes here or there, but I don't use a lot of texture. And I think the PROCREATE 5.4 update is best for artists with texture. Now, that's a very generalized statement, and it comes with its pros and cons. But I definitely think the brushes that they added, the settings that they tweaked, specifically in the brush settings area, was definitely for the artists who number one, very specific kinds of brushes, and number two, they liked more textured art. So I'll loop back to this again, but I kind of want to talk about the art piece for a little bit because the texture of these brushes definitely influenced how I drew this. So I'm not drawing anything in particular here. It's an elf girl. Usually when I'm trying something new, I always draw elves. I'm not sure why. It just feels more interesting than regular human ears, but honestly, that's just about the only thing that's changing. And I just wanted to try it, wanted to do something new. I ended up giving her really long, flowy hair. Usually when I draw elves, I tend to give them short pixie cuts. I don't know, I just really enjoy it when I draw my girls with short pixie cuts when they're elves, but I've really been enjoying the sort of long, flowy hair, and I've been just, exploring that recently. Just, not many changes to my art style in the recent days. I've been quite busy, so my drawing time has been limited as of usual, and you've seen that uploads have been a little slower as well. But I decided to draw an elf girl, and I was using this sort of textured pen. I don't remember the brush names. If I get a moment or if someone would like to know, I'll put them in the comment section. But I was kind of just messing around with them. I switched brushes a few times when it came to sketching because I couldn't find a textured pencil that I really enjoyed. I think a lot of the textured pencils in this update kind of acted more like charcoal brushes, which, as someone who sketches in mechanical pencil on traditionally, I don't love the super nitty gritty textured pencil unless it's for something really specific or it's colored pencil. It felt like sketching in colored pencil, which is fine, but when it comes for me, I usually tend to keep my sketches relatively clean, so I had some trouble finding a good sketching pencil. But when it came to pen, I didn't really switch my pen brush after I tried a few initially. If you see me kind of just scribbling all over the canvas at certain points, that's me trying new brushes. And I don't know, I really stuck with one pen for the most part. I also just sort of enjoyed the process. This line art was slow, it was deliberate. I didn't really try to do anything fancy, I just sort of blocked stuff in. I'm gonna move my mic for a second. But when it came to the coloring, this is when I really felt the distinction between who this brush set was made for and my art style. So specifically when you do base coloring, I feel like that's really when brushes start to shine, because it depends on how either opaque or how translucent a brush lays down color. It depends on how blendable it is, its soft or hard edges, what kind of shape it is. I think this brush set in particular was made for the texture-driven digital artists because I struggled so much to just find a basic brush to lay down color. And now I understand that I could have went about this in 40 billion different ways. I could have used the lasso tool and selected the entire area of my line art and then just plopped down one bucket of color. But for the purpose of this update, I wanted to use as much of the new brushes as I could to really get a feel for what was happening. And I didn't just want to use the lasso tool. I kind of challenged myself to specifically use the brushes in Procreate in the update. And there are basic digital brushes. In fact, there's a section in the new update that says just digital, and it's your beautiful basic airbrushes, flat circle brush, square brush. It's just all those beautiful textured hard rounds, soft rounds sort of stuff. But even those brushes didn't feel complete to me. They didn't feel like they were just good to have. I don't know what it was, but it was just really hard to figure out these brushes and get a good hard feel of them. I honestly, further into the drawing, I get so frustrated trying to find just a regular brush that I end up just going back to my usual library of regular brushes and just pick a hard round. But for any other part of this challenge, I use the brushes available in this section. And I think where these brushes start to shine is when you start blending, when you start applying texture, when you start applying different colors than just your base. I thoroughly enjoyed this part of the process. I think that these brushes are beautiful for blending. They're beautiful for mixing color. They're great for adding texture. I usually don't use a lot of textured brushes in my art. Again, I love that sort of clean, flat, or minimal gradient sort of art style. But using these brushes was so fun. It felt like I was making a Renaissance painting in my own style with the convenience of a digital art program instead of mixing oil paints. I thought it was so good. I really enjoyed this process when it came to the coloring, and I think I got a lot of fun colors in there too, which was very appreciated. Overall, I think this process was fun. I think I'll do it again, but I definitely think my review of this is if you prefer more clean lines, I don't know if the 5.4 update is for you. Not that you can't use it, obviously. I'm not saying it's a hard and fast rule, but what I am saying is, as someone who really likes her flat colors, as I've said many a time, I think this update can be a little difficult to use sometimes, and you'll definitely have to supplement it with other brushes that you already put in your art style and workflow. One thing I probably will incorporate into my art is I really liked this sort of like pencil pastel brush that I used a little bit, and also in the update there was sort of like this multi-lined, I'm using it right here, brush that has like 5 strokes in like one tap on the screen. I don't know how to describe it, but it was really, really nice to use. I really, really liked it. And I definitely recommend the update for everyone who just like wants to try something new. It was really, really fun. And I didn't really talk about the art piece too much, but I really enjoyed coloring it. I tried to push myself to use more warm colors because I tend to lean more cool in my art. And overall, I just really enjoyed it. So I want to thank you all for watching as the video wraps up. I hope you have a wonderful time, and I believe this video is coming out now that it is officially fall. So have a happy, happy fall, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!